Legends say they're man-eaters. That even crocodiles fear them. Some say they're the ghosts of the river, demon fish that bring bad luck. Anglers speak of them with awe. But this is no fish story. This is the truth behind Africa's piranha. The plains of Africa have always been a hotbed of predatory action. But lurking in its rivers is perhaps the most elusive super predator of all, the tigerfish. Imagine if you crossed a shark with a piranha. You'd get the strongest, meanest, freshwater fish on the planet. The supersized Goliath tigerfish is a living nightmare. Few have ever seen it in the flesh. And for angling legend Andy Kutsia, finding this monster fish is the holy grail.
The South American piranha is about this big. The African equivalent of a piranha is a Goliath tiger, and it is enormous, close to 2 meters long, 6 feet long. So the potential for harm is far greater from the Goliath tiger.
Andy's quest to meet the mighty Goliath will take him deep into the Congo River, where the only way he'll find one is to catch one.
I think the biggest threat is if you hook this monster, if your hand slips, it will bite your hand right off. It has got enormous teeth, which mesh. So in a sense, it's like a crocodile's teeth, but they are razor sharp. It doesn't tear, it slices through them.
The second largest river in the world, and one of the rarest fish on the planet. Andy's quest seems like mission impossible. To succeed, he needs to meet the tigerfish underwater, face to face. The Okavango Delta, a pristine waterscape which is largely unexplored. At this time of year, the water is crystal clear, and beneath the tranquil surface, it's tigerfish central. These tigerfish are the cousins of the Goliath that Andy will hunt. They're 10 times smaller, but they're no less ferocious. All tigerfish are cannibals. Any smaller fish is easy prey. So while they're growing, they hunt in like-sized packs. Schools of juveniles like these have even been known to attack land mammals that stray into the shallows. Andy's plan is to dive these predatory waters and get the lowdown on tigerfish behavior. What he learns here will help him to hunt down their giant cousins in the Congo.
By diving with the tigers in the Okavango, it allows me to see how they operate, how they hunt and prey on the species that they will be eating. It allows me to get into their heads so that I can translate that into a fishing technique which allows me to catch the Goliath, hopefully.
In Africa's rivers, the tigerfish sits at the top of the food chain, just below the Nile crocodile. They patrol the channels like hungry wolves. Sometimes they swallow their prey whole. But they are also one of the few fish who can eat their prey bite by bite. This swamp is also prime territory for crocodiles. But it's worth the risk. This is the best place on the planet to observe tigerfish in their natural habitat. And Andy will do anything to get closer to his Goliath.
I've been sleepless all night. There's a handful of people who've dived in the Okavango Delta, and I'm going to be one of them, diving for tigerfish for the first time in my life. I'm shivering with excitement to see tigerfish underwater. Unbelievable.
Andy needs to dive deep, fast, to get below the crocs on the surface. Tigerfish only exist in a few isolated pockets in Africa. This is Andy's chance to enter their secret lair and learn how they operate.
I'm swimming along at the bottom of this riverbed, trying to simulate the actions of a predator, following the holes and the little rises of the riverbed, looking for prey as a predator would. With this limited visibility in front of me, this is exactly what predators want. It gives them the ability to sneak up on their prey.
Clad in camouflage, the tiger of the river blends seamlessly into its underwater jungle. Its stripes ripple like silver current, and its orange tail mimics a lily pad. It's the perfect ambush predator.
I've seen my first tigerfish underwater. Amazing. There's a little shoal of tigerfish coming up just ahead of us, hanging in this hole, which is really exciting.
Predator meets predator in neutral waters. The young tigerfish is injured, probably cannibalized by his own kind. It's proof that there are much bigger tigers in these waters.
The stimulus for me as a fisherman is like a hunter. You're a hunter of fish. And I have the opportunity of hunting fish, but I don't have to kill them. It's part of the conservation ethos of what I am about.
It's a promising start, but the giant Andy's after would eat this fish in a mouthful. Diving in calm channels makes it easy to hunt down the smaller tigerfish underwater. But to hunt down a Goliath, Andy needs to study how the bigger tigers operate.
Having dived during the day in some of these inlets, I'm wondering where the big tigers are. They've been markedly elusive. And I wonder if they aren't feeding at night. There are lots of little baitfish. The tigerfish has just taken something off the surface right now. There, it's eating a little fish. Right down there, look at that. There's definitely some advantage. They can sneak up at night and ambush using their lateral line and that big, powerful tail to jump onto their prey. I wonder if this is not going to be the secret to catching Goliath tigerfish in the Congo. I'm going to drop it over the side and see what happens. Tigerfish are piscivorous. They eat fish primarily. And so if you want to catch a fish eating fish, you need to put a bait on that is a fish. Hence the use of a small fish to catch a big fish. I tried fishing at night for tigerfish until the mosquitoes eventually drove me back home. Can't understand why I can't decode these tigerfish. What am I going to do in the Congo? That's what's bothering me.
Andy is still skimming the surface for intel that will help his monster hunt in the Congo. He's seen small tigers, but he's hungry for the big one. Location is everything. The trick is to find a site with good visibility and deep water. Diving some of the deeper channels might take Andy right to the heart of the ambush zone. Large tigers lurk in the back eddies where they can dart out and surprise their prey. But they are not the only predators that specialize in ambush tactics. Diving with crocodiles is a risky business, but the croc relies on the element of surprise, and he's been made. Andy stays low and continues on his course. His next plan is to try and lure the fish with bait underwater and see if this chumming will bring them in.
I'm trying to figure out what the triggers are that will induce these tigerfish to take their prey. What is it that turns them on? That's confusing me.
Almost immediately, there's a result. Like sharks honing in on a chum line, their large tails propel them towards the scent of prey. Andy has crossed the divide and infiltrated the domain of one of the most elusive predators on the planet. Although the tigers don't feed on the chum, their sheer numbers back up the theory that these deeper pools are their hunting zones. Unlike their piranha cousins, tigerfish don't descend on prey like crazed zombies. They're cunning and wary. It's hard to outsmart one, and even harder to catch one.
Having spent some time underwater in the Delta, I think I've decoded a little bit of what I can expect in the Congo. Looking at the way the tigerfish use structure, back eddies, stumps, deeper pools, I'll have to find something like that in the Congo River. I've got a fish finder, so I'll have a look at the substrate profile of the river and translate what I've learned here into the Congo River. Going to the Congo to try and catch a Goliath tiger is just an extension of what drives me. Those things that other people don't get to do, that's what I want to do. Congo River is a beast with a beast living in it. It is that animal, it's that part of Africa which hasn't been tamed, which is wild, which is dangerous, and that's what excites me.
The Democratic Republic of Congo is a country of extremes. It's vast, almost a quarter of the size of the entire United States. It's abundantly rich in minerals. It's also one of the poorest countries in the world. The capital, Kinshasa, is home to over 9 million people. It's a labyrinth of trading and bartering. This is Andy's last chance to get the supplies he'll need for his monster hunt. From here, his quest will take him north of Kinshasa, into the heart of the Congo River.
To catch this elusive Goliath tigerfish, it's going to take preparation, planning, research, which I've done my whole life. I'm ex-military. I've competed in Ironman triathlons. So I'm competing against myself to try and understand fish, understand this elusive, monstrous fish in the Congo. That's the quest. This is the prime bait we're looking for. I want to get them about that big. Goliath tiger love this. The way you survive from a predator is to develop some armor. You've got a rock-hard skull here and these rigid spines, so when a predator wants to eat you, it can only possibly bite there without getting these spines stuck in its throat. My quest to catch a Goliath tiger, and there's a fair bit of trepidation, that's for sure.
Andy is now at the mercy of the most powerful river on the planet. Below the turbulence is an ecosystem on steroids. Here, evolution has supersized the tigerfish into a Goliath, a hulk of terror breaking bad. The tail of a tuna to propel it towards its prey. Dense swimming muscles to master the strong currents. And teeth, 1 inch long and similar to a great white shark. The Congo River has honed the perfect killing machine to dominate its aggressive waters. And it's not just the water that is treacherous here.
The real dangers in the Congo are bandits, armed bandits, wild animals. There's going to be hippos, there's going to be crocodiles. It is pretty much going into the unknown. I don't know of anyone having fished 300 kilometers upstream from Kinshasa.
Locals call it the river that swallows all rivers. And in places, it reaches 15 miles wide. Below Andy's meager boat, the water can plunge to depths of 750 feet. It's the deepest river on the planet. And it's no coincidence that this habitat demands unique adaptations. The extreme changes in depths and currents spawns a huge diversity of fish species. The most notorious is known by locals as the Mbenga, the demon fish, or Goliath tiger. Unlike the Goliath tigerfish, who plays by his own rules, Andy can't stray outside the lines. To survive in the Congo, you follow protocol. Andy must report to the local chief.
My name is Andy Kutsia from South Africa.
Andy.
And very nice to meet you. I would like to ask him about the Mbenga, because that's why I am here in the Congo, is to find out about the Goliath tigerfish, the Mbenga. I would like to talk to him about that.
Okay.
Vous, en tant que pêcheur spécialiste, il peut m'expliquer, voilà, Mbenga mange telle chose.
I think that question should normally come from him, because you are a specialist for fish and so on. So you can tell him what Mbenga eats and in which place he doesn't play and so on.
It was enlightening for me in the fact that he didn't know much about the river. He'd heard of Goliath tiger, but wasn't really in touch with it. I expected him to be much more au fait and in tune with the river, and he wasn't. And I would just want to leave one thought with him, that if we catch an Mbenga, we would like to put it back in the water, because there are not many of them. This is the only place in the world where you can catch Mbenga. We would like to keep them alive.
Yeah.
C'était dans l'eau. Vous m'amenez une autre espèce de poisson.
So he has said that since the morning, that the first Mbenga that we will catch, he has the right to eat him.
Okay.
So we will bring it to him.
That's his right as the chief.
that is right.
Okay. We will try and respect that, but he knows that Mbenga jumps and the hook comes out. So sometimes they get away, sometimes we can catch them. Merci beaucoup.
Fish is the staple diet for millions of people who live along the river. The Goliath has defeated the odds to stay alive. Hunting one down is not going to be easy. They're honed by hardship, and they don't go down without a fight.
A Goliath tiger is like the bully in the fresh water. It has got gigantic teeth, it's got a huge mouth, it eats anything that goes past it. It's the monster, it's the machine.
Andy is up for the challenge. He's ready to meet his monster. But there's one last step. He needs to find the right bait.
Such a strange, marmored elephant fish with its trunk. Another one. It's a different mouthpart. Specially adapted mouthparts. Unbelievable. One of these electric fishes.
Goliaths are reputedly the hardest fish on the planet to catch. Andy must use a steel wire leader and fishing line with a 100-pound breaking strain. Tigerfish are ambush predators.
Okay.
Their hunting strategy is suited to turbulent waters where less powerful fish struggle against the current. To find a Goliath, Andy must think like one. Using what he learned in the Delta, Andy chooses a deep pool where two currents meet. It's Goliath territory, but this is also a treacherous whirlpool, notorious for claiming the lives of fishermen who depend on the river for food. 1.5 million cubic feet of water flows through here per second. That's the same amount of water as 17 Olympic swimming pools. and not an easy place to cast your hook.
Damn it.
Andy is working against a force of nature. The mighty Congo River won't give up the ghost that easily.
Yeah, it's not working for me here. There's lots of debris in this little whirlpool. It's hooking up, snaring up my bait.
After the defeat of day one, Andy forges upriver. The water is calmer, but other fires are raging. The Congo rainforest, often referred to as one of the lungs of the planet, is burning. The once lush jungle is fast being reduced to ash and charcoal. The chaos calls in Andy's first break.
Damn it. Got mangled. This has been savaged by a Goliath tiger. I mean, look at that. Looking at this, yes, please. It's a monster. I need another bite. No wonder it's such a fierce predator. To survive here, you got to be the apex predator.
As if to prove his point, Andy feels another hit.
Yes, please. Yes, please. Hope it doesn't jump in the boat now. Aye, gone. That's what happens with Goliaths. 3 out of 10, you might land. That one jumped, gone. Man. What do I do? The elusive Goliath. Damn it.
Once again, the river wins, and Andy heads further upstream into the Congo's heart.
If I hook a huge Goliath tiger over 100 pounds, just manhandling the thing, the potential of it breaking loose or my hand slipping into its mouth, if that thing bites me, it's going to be a serious problem. It's going to slice me to pieces.
A Goliath's mouth is like a bucket of blades. The lips are hard and bony, and they're armed with 32 replaceable teeth. The jaws expand sideways by pivoting open from a unique central hinge. When they snap shut, the teeth interlock like a gin trap. Its bite is like a turbocharged paper shredder.
While getting bait, live bait for these Goliath, I found this tiny little juvenile Goliath tiger. And it's hard to imagine that this little fish can grow up to 60 kilograms, 120, 130 pounds, just short of 2 meters or 6 foot. Have a look at that huge mouth. Even at this age, that mouth is a significant part of its morphology. And have a look at the tail, that bright orange tail, but this is the propeller. This is the engine behind the swift predator. Look at that. That's what allows it, that big tail allows it to smash into bait fish that is hunting in the water column of this Congo River. Wonderful. I'm gonna get a big one.
Fishing has been described as the pursuit of something elusive but attainable. A perpetual series of occasions for hope. But in these waters, nothing is predictable. This is not a peaceful habitat. It's a busy highway that never rests. In an environment which is no longer natural, it's hard for Andy to predict how the fish will behave.
Off, on. Nice, throwing the hook again. Biting off the hooks, man. Hit the steel right through. I'm on.
He's being pitted against a supernatural monster.
Off.
Andy is losing his tackle, but he's found their lair. Andy's lost 23 Goliaths so far, but he's gained huge admiration for his nemesis.
I have the utmost respect for a predator of that magnitude. For it to be able to survive in here, it's just a fearsome, awesome eating machine.
The Goliath is designed like a prey-seeking missile. A narrow tube runs the length of its body. Here, tiny surface hairs detect movement in the surrounding water. At the same time, highly tuned ear bones pick up vibrations and bounce them off a drum-like air sac behind the skull. It's a built-in fish-finding amplifier. Locked onto his target, the Goliath can launch at speeds up to 30 miles per hour. To get the edge on this unfathomable fish, Andy resorts to desperate measures. In keeping with the Congo's deeply rooted tribal rituals, Andy hunts down the local shaman, or Sangoma, who reputedly has power over the river.
Bonjour, madame. My name is Andy, and I've come to ask for your help to catch a big mbenga.
The shaman explains that she owns this stretch of the river, and for Andy to fish here successfully, she will need to perform a ceremony to bless the river and his quest. The chalk marks symbolize that Andy has a rite of passage. It seems like a long shot, but conventional fishing techniques have failed so far. Days turn to weeks, and Andy's still battling the odds. He's tried everything. Nothing is working. The Congo has him beat. The river is hostile, and so are the fish. Even 5 decades of experience as an angler can't help Andy outsmart a Goliath. He's lost some brutes, and he's losing hope.
How's that possible? Damn! How many more fish must I lose? I don't know what to do anymore. I don't know what to do. I don't know what the hell to do. Now I'm snapped up.
The tally keeps rising. It's Goliath 50, Andy 0. It's time to dig deep.
I've got a wonderful campsite here, and I've been thinking about my journey hunting for this Goliath tigerfish, and actually it's not about catching the big one. It's about this whole journey of experiencing the Congo for what it is, for the devastation, for the beauty, for the allure of gigantic fish. And if I don't catch a big one, maybe that's not the end of the world. Maybe that's what this Goliath tigerfish's saving grace is, that it is so difficult to catch. Maybe that is what will keep it from becoming extinct.
It's Groundhog Day on the Congo River, and it's Andy's last day fishing before he's homeward bound.
Yes, please. Ay, nice. It's going to get a little bit calmer, and I'll get close to the boat so we can pick it up. got one Goliath. It's not the biggest one, but it's big enough. Okay. I'm just going to take the hooks out. This is the dangerous part. You'll have a look at those teeth. Fearsome, fearsome teeth. I want to pick her up. We're just going to see. Look at those teeth. Nice fish, but they go a lot bigger. I want to keep her alive. There we go. Just going to revive her a little bit in the water. In 50 years of fishing, I think the tigers have beaten me, hands down. Everything I thought I knew about fishing didn't work. These are the fierce predators of the Congo. Yeah, she's getting a bit stronger. She's going to go shortly. She's going to go now. This is a Goliath's saving grace, is that they're so difficult to catch and land. Maybe that's a survival tactic. It's got a mouth of concrete. To try and set a hook in that is extremely difficult. C'est la vie. Good luck, Goliath.
The Goliath returns to haunt its habitat, an evolutionary masterpiece honed by a ruthless river, a ghost, an enigma, the stuff of legends.